What's up YouTube? How are you doing today? I'm Chana D, the Techno Dad, and in this video I'll be reviewing the Oro 3D audio track in Spider-Man Homecoming. We're gonna get into it right after the jump. And I'm back. Now if you're new to the channel, my name is Chana and I love watching movies and I'm loving these new immersive audio formats. So if you want to learn about immersive audio like Oro 3D or Dolby Atmos or DTS:X, you've come to the right place and you should consider subscribing. Alright everyone, so Monday there was a lot of sad news for everyone, I guess. Stan Lee passed away at the age of 95. Stan Lee, of course, from Marvel Comics. He created or co-created Spider-Man, X-Men, Thor, Iron Man, Black Panther, Incredible Hulk, Fantastic Four, and countless many others. He was a visionary, and it's amazing to think that the stuff he published in the 60s and 70s went on to become huge blockbuster movies like 40 years later. That's really amazing. Super cool. Anyway, sad that happened, but you know, one of his iconic characters is Spider-Man, and in honor of the late great Stan Lee, I decided to upload and do my review of Spider-Man Homecoming a week early. Now I had to order the Blu-ray from Amazon in Germany, and it cost around $35, including international shipping. The disc arrived Saturday, just a couple of days ago, and I popped it in today and fired up my 10.1 Oro 3D setup. Currently I'm using the Denon X4400H Parasound A52 Plus power amplifier, powering the front stage and the Voice of God channel. As for speakers, I'm running the SVS Ultra Bookshelf 5.0 system, along with the SVS PB4000 subwoofer. And of course, cannot forget 5 SVS Prime Elevation speakers for my 4 height channels and the Voice of God channel. And if you're curious, I am using the Pioneer UDP LX500 4K Blu-ray player to play the standard Blu-ray disc. And when I pop in any of these discs, I usually go to language to make sure we're on English, because these are all like usually from a different country, and we're also on the Oro audio track. Now what's strange is on the disc it says Oro 5.1, English of course, but English Oro 5.1. And at first I was disappointed since I had to spend $35 and like wait maybe like 7 to 10 days for it to get here. I was happy to see that when I did hit play and then I hit the info button on the Denon, I do see a 13.1 Oro 3D signal coming into the receiver from the Pioneer LX500. So I even stood on the coffee table to make sure, and yes, we are getting height effects working properly from everything up on the ceiling. Now we don't get any height effects until about 4 minutes into the movie when Michael Keaton's character comes flying into the warehouse. Now I do find it interesting that the very first man that played Batman is the villain in this movie. Interesting. There's a little Marvel versus DC going on here? Did you think about that? I never thought about it. It just dawned on me. Anyway, next time in the movie where we get a great use of the height channels is when Spidey is being, you know, taken up on a ride up in the sky and then just dropped. Now his parachute kind of automatically is deployed and he's screaming and it's all muffled and it's very immersive. It's like you can feel the parachute like, you know, fluttering against you, and it really just feels like you're wrapped up in that parachute falling down through the sky. Really cool. Now something really cool happened last week. I was actually able to talk to the inventor of Oro 3D. Yes, you heard that right. I got to speak to the guy who invented the whole thing, so that I could have more information to help you guys about the format and give you, you know, just better information, right? Pretty cool. Now it's interesting to know that he actually prefers 9.1 as opposed to 10.1. As he was explaining it, as animals, you know, we hear more of what's around us, in front, behind, and on the sides. You know, and not just at ear level, but just above ear level as well. However, we don't really hear much from directly above. And he did go on to say that when he was developing Oro 3D, just by having that second quadraphonic layer, he was able to recreate real-life spaces. Now, one of the great examples of this in Spider-Man is pretty much anytime you're in a warehouse scene. You really get a sense of being in that warehouse because of that second quadraphonic layers. You know, you're getting the reflections and echoes off of voices. They're kind of bouncing in a realistic way around you, and you're getting a realistic representation of the sound in the warehouse. Very cool to experience it, and I totally understand what he's talking about by how it's so important to have that second quadraphonic layer above the standard 5.1, which, you know, brings you into the movie and into the scene and just really immersive. Now, there are many action scenes where stuff is flying around, and I gotta say, this is a great movie for checking out Oro 3D. The ferry scene and the final fight are fantastic. There is one super funny part, like in the final fight scene. I think that starts around an hour 45 minutes in, and then it's just, you know, awesome after that. Spidey's holding on for dear life, and you see a shot of his legs, and you hear him going like, whoa, 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 and all his voice is coming from the Voice of God channel, and that was fantastic. I was like busting up, rewound it, watched it a few times because it was just hilarious. It was very creative and a very natural way to have sound coming from above. So, you know, the mixers did a great job on that one. A+. Now, I know most of you think it's difficult and hard to get these immersive formats in your living room, especially when you have the WAF to think about. One thing that you could possibly do is set up height channels just above your main speakers, like close to the ceiling. Whether they're bookshelf speakers or like the Prime Elevation speakers, you know, you could get some white speakers and white speaker cable. Of course, if your walls and ceiling are white, that makes sense only. And, you know, maybe you won't even notice them on the wall, right? If everything's white. Just something to think about. So all in all, I think Spider-Man Homecoming in Oro 3D is a fantastic movie to check out on your system. And I'll put a link in the description to purchase it from Amazon Germany if you want to pick up a copy for yourself. Now, of course, if you have any questions for me, hit me up in the comments down below or on whichever social media you like to use the most. And of course, we do need to say thank you and rest in peace to the man, the late great Stan Lee. Thank you so much for all the comics. Thank you so much for all the movies. It's been an awesome ride. I've loved every minute of it. And that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel using the button in the middle of your screen. Once again, my name is Chana D. I am the Techno Dad. I'll see you next time.